Sa akin. Nakakalap si Toyak siya. Putol-putol, James, putol.
We'll rise as one for everyone. The future is as bright as the sun. Hard to transform communities. We'll rise as one for everyone.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Maraming salamat po sa inyong paghihintay. Medyo nagkaroon lang ng konting technical problem. Pero ready na po tayo. Tayo po ay magsisimula. Ngayon din po. Ang una pong ng palatuntunan natin ay ang ating invocation na gagawin po ng ating control which is video recorded po. GB. Amen. I would like to request everybody to please stand for our Philippine National Anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, kailas ang silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinihirang, tuyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagtatagputok sa simoy at sa langit mong panggaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagkikinig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang may di magtitingin. Luman ang araw ng walang pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya ng pagkay hanapin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Please be seated. And now let's hear the four-way test, the Rotary Pledge that will be played through the video.
Accept ka na?
want to be.
For the world, make the Rotary flag as the flag of peace unfurled. I shall serve my community, help achieve universal unity. I shall dedicate my all. World understanding shall be my cherished goal. With a boldly test, I'll pursue my quest, living my little way of the day. Peace in the world, I shall not have lived in
Ano? Direct.
service above self, lend a hand to all who need my hand. I'll give my spouse to involve in Rotary, and in Rotary ways I will train my family. With a four-way test, we'll pursue our quest, living our little way of a day. Peace in the world, we shall not have lived in vain. Build a bridge for tomorrow's youth, strengthened by nothing but the truth. Gesture ahead, there's no reason we'll divide. We shall all understand why the good Lord is our guide. With a four-way test, we'll pursue our quest, giving our little.
Tapos na.
Wala eh. Dito o doon.
Thank you very much, everyone. Now, I would like to have the directress of St. Therese Development Center here at San Luis, Barangay San Luis, Antipolo City. Let us welcome the directress, Miss Lucia P. Reyes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Rotary Club of Metro Antipolo with our webinar today entitled Project Angel Net, an Internet Child Protection Advocacy, which helps protecting child from all forms of Internet exploitation and abuse in partnership with the Department of Justice, Anti-Crime Group, Women and Child Protection Crime, and Bureau of Fire Protection. Welcome everyone. Sana marami kayong matutunan sa webinar namin ito. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, Past President Lucy Reyes. At I'd like to take this opportunity also to thank you for a good hospitality in your own school. Thank you very much. Now, this is main thing. I would like to welcome one of our speakers coming from the PNP ACG, our facilitator for today, Lieutenant Colonel Irene Cayetano Sena.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for inviting us to discuss with you some of the practices we have here at PNPACG. We are very pleased that you have given us the time to share our knowledge on cybersecurity awareness and cyber hygiene as well. Thank you, sir. Sir, shall I proceed with my presentation?
Yes, ma'am. You can go ahead and proceed.
Sir, is my video clear already?
The video is not playing at this time.
Sir, I'm sharing my presentation already.
Wala. Ito ako si GB. There you go. Yes. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay na po?
Yes. Playing.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to share with you some thoughts about cyber wellness. I am Police Lieutenant Colonel Irene Cayetano Sena, the Assistant Chief of the Police Strategy Management Unit of the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group. Shown on the screen is the scope of my presentation. It covers the facts and figures of the cyberspace, the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group, our unit, the the Philippines legal system, cybercrime statistics and trends, cybersecurity awareness, cybercrime modus, and safety tips. Internet nowadays is embedded in everything that we do. Shopping, banking, or even marketing advertisements can now be done through online. Research work, our favorite music, and videos can easily be downloaded anytime and anywhere. Thus, internet is one of the greatest inventions of men at the turn of the century. Social lives nowadays are driven by technology. The use of internet is increasing exponentially, and it already changed the landscape of communication channel in every day. Based on the data gathered on January 2020, the world population is about 7.75 billion. Out of this, 4.54 billion is the total number of internet users. And it is worthy to note that 3.8 billion are active social media users. On the average, an internet user spends 6 hours and 43 minutes online every day. However, based on records in the Philippines, the average internet user spends 9 hours and 45 minutes online every day. With here, we can see the difference that worldwide, it is only 6 hours and 43 minutes. However, it is different with the setup in our country. We are more susceptible to any attack or crime that may happen on the internet because we spend most of our time using the internet. The average daily time spent using social media alone by an internet user is 2 hours and 24 minutes. However, in the Philippines, the average daily time spent using social media is 3 hours and 53 minutes. We are always above the average use of internet, even in the social media. And it is not even surprising that Facebook is the world's most used social media platform with an average of almost 2.5 million active users, followed by YouTube, WhatsApp, and FB Messenger. With this, PNP acknowledges the problem of illegal activity and crime victimization in the cyberspace, a challenge it shares among developing countries in Southeast Asia and in other parts of the world. Because of the need for a dedicated unit to acknowledge and address cybercrime in the Philippines, the PNP created the Anti-Cybercrime Group, which is a national support unit, which was activated on February 27, 2013, and inaugurated on March 20 of the same year, under the able supervision of no less than Police Major General Gilbert Sosa, who is now the current president of the Rotary Club of Metro Antipolo. The establishment of the group is a strong signal to the criminals that the PNP is very serious in addressing cybercrime in the country. The PNP realizes the need to activate a unit which shall primarily be responsible in addressing cybercrimes and other cyber-enabled criminality. From a small section with limited resources, no internationally certified forensic examiners, and technically inclined proactive cyber investigators, to a national support unit with proactive cyber cops and state-of-the-art digital forensic laboratories. The mission of the group is to implement and enforce pertinent laws on cybercrime and other related crimes and pursue an effective anti-cybercrime campaign. And the vision of the group is that by 2025, the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group shall be a highly responsive and dynamic unit towards the attainment of a safer cyber environment. To identify and differentiate our group among other PNP offices, clear-cut function was established. Among the functions of the group are as follows. First is to investigate all cybercrimes and other crimes in which information and communication technologies are used in the commission of criminal acts or the object of attack. Second is the conduct of data recovery and forensic analysis on all computer peripherals, and storage devices and other digital evidence seized by operating units within the country. Third is to provide operational support to investigating units of the PNP. Fourth is to formulate guidelines for cybercrime investigation, forensic evidence recovery, and forensic data analysis. Fifth is the conduct of vulnerability assessment of security in both public and private IT infrastructures. Seventh is to establish and maintain a modern digital forensic laboratory. Next is the conduct of specialized training and seminars, just like with this. We encourage schools to invite us and we have a talk with them so that we can spread awareness within our country and to save our fellow men from being victimized by cyber criminals. And last is to maintain linkages with PNP offices, local government agencies, and other government agencies on matter pertaining to anti-cybercrime operations. The unit is headed by our director, Police Brigadier General Dennis P. Agustin. We have our Deputy Director for Administration, Police Colonel Joel B. Doria. Our Deputy Director for Operations is Police Colonel Lope May Yulim. And our Acting Chief of Staff is Police Colonel Edwin D. El Portento. The unit has four main divisions, namely the Administrative and Resource Management Division, the Operations Management Division, the Investigation Management Division, and the Legal Affairs Division. We have 6 support units, namely the Digital Forensic Unit, the Cyber Patrolling and Intelligence Unit, Cyber Security Unit, Cyber Response Unit, Cyber Financial Crime Unit, and the Women and Child Protection Unit. At present, we have 16 regional anti-cybercrime units strategically located in the provinces of Cordillera, La Union, Tuguegarao, Pampanga, Laguna, Mindoro, Bicol, Iloilo, Tacloban Leyte, Zamboanga, Cagayan de Oro, Davao, General Santos, Butuan, and Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. We also have provincial anti-cybercrime offices in the province of Bohol, Rizal, Iligan, Baguio City, Davao City, Sultan Kudarat, and Campin. Likewise, PNP-ACG have also satellite offices in the different districts of Metro Manila. Bali, ito pong areas ng Metro Manila, subdivided po to siya into 5 areas. The Northern Anti-Cybercrime Unit, the Southern Anti-Cybercrime Unit, the Eastern South Cybercrime Unit, the Quezon City Cybercrime Unit, and the Manila Cybercrime Unit. The 4 major deliverables of the PNP-ACG are cybercrime investigation, digital forensic, cyber patrolling, and cybersecurity. Cybercrime investigation includes the arrest of cybercriminals and seizure of electronic evidence. Digital forensic includes the conduct of computer forensic examination, cell phone forensic examination, and video forensic examination. Cyber patrolling is the conduct of social media exploitation and information gathering over the internet. And last is the cybersecurity, which includes the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing and creation of cybersecurity tips, bulletins, and advisories. The Philippine legal system. The PNP-ACG primarily enforced Republic Act 10175 or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, an act which defines cybercrime and provides for the following: prevention, investigation, and suppression of cybercrimes to include imposition of penalties and its transgression. Other cyber-related laws being implemented by the PNP-ACG includes the Data Privacy Act of 2012, Child Pornography Act of 2009, Anti-Photo and Video Voyeurism Act of 2009, Electronic Commerce Act of 2000, Access Devices Regulation Act of 1998, and other related laws under the Revised Penal Code under Section 6 of RA 10175. When RA 10175 is attached to a particular law being penalized by the Revised Penal Code, the penalty is always 1 degree higher. Cybercrime statistics and trends. Based on records of cybercrime investigated by PNP-ACG on 2019, shown are the nature of cybercrime cases. Online libel is the #1 most prevailing offense committed in the country with 1,153, followed by online scam, anti-photo and video voyeurism, identity theft, and online threat. As reflected on the graph, there is an increasing trend in the number of cybercrime cases recorded as years pass by. This is brought about by the challenges in technology and the acceptance of the community in the so-called digital age. If we can notice, we only have a record of 3,099 for calendar year 2020, as compared to calendar year 2019, which is a record of 5,335. It is because there is still 3 months left, or 4 months left, shall I say, for year 2020. Henceforth, we are expecting a tremendous increase in the number of cyber crimes to be committed, especially during the holiday season. Cybersecurity awareness. With the increasing number of cyber crimes recorded, it is highly advisable to have a discussion on cybersecurity awareness. First and foremost, it is a must for us to know who are the culprits in the cyberspace. These people are subdivided into 4 groups, namely the individuals or the hacktivists, the criminal organization, the dissident group or faction, and the state-sponsored hackers. Now, what are the differences among these groups? The individual may be a loner or a bullied individual when he was still young or a child and wants to take revenge not only of his aggressor, but to anyone he wishes to harm. Hacktivists are individuals who perform an act of hacking or breaking into a computer system for a politically or socially motivated purpose. Criminal organizations are those who want to protect the interests of their illegal business. Dissident groups are those who plan, recruit, propagate, and acquire funding for their terroristic activities. And state-sponsored hackers has a much larger scale of attack, which involves espionage, disruption, and destruction of information and infrastructures of their opposing countries. Attacks can be generated internally or externally and may be directly against a computer system or focus on supporting infrastructures such as telecommunications and electricity. But nowadays, uh, there are a lots of culprits in the cyberspace, especially this time of pandemic wherein people have a lot of people are being unemployed. They resort to some sort of illegal activities over the internet. After knowing the culprits in the cyberspace, it is also important to know the different kinds of cyber attacks. Shown is the list of the commonly used cyber attacks. And let me discuss each one of them. In password-based attacks, hackers use software and brute force attacks to access secure accounts. They have password cracking software that can test thousands of potential passwords. These machines are successful because password rules have passwords less secure. Social engineering is the art of manipulating people so they give up confidential information. The types of information these criminals are seeking can vary. Criminals use social engineering tactics due to it's usually easier to exploit your natural inclination to trust than it is to discover ways to hack your software. For example, it is much easier for someone to fool you into giving your password than it is for them to try hacking your password, unless the password is really weak. People often use this kind of attack because it is easier to get the passwords by merely attaching themselves to the people around them. Social engineering attacks such as password phishing emails are one of the most commonly types of attacks for these cyber criminals. Hackers send out emails that have been designed to look official. This means that they'll spoof the email that are sent out by the companies. Hackers hope that potential victims will follow the link in the email and enter their password or banking information. Mapansin po natin, marami ngayong cyber criminals dahil marami ng online transactions. Paulit-ulit po namin sinasabi sa public and kahit po sa advertisement ng mga banks na never give any confidential information related to your bank accounts. Marami po dyan, usually magsasabi, magko-close na yung account nyo, kailangan nyo i-update ang details nyo, ipapapasok ang username, password nyo sa online platform nila without you knowing, hindi iyon ang official platform ng bangko. How can we check this? First, pag may link pong ibinigay, since nagiging common user na po tayo ng internet, we check the URL. We make sure that the URL is the legitimate URL the bank is using. For example, if the bank is BPI, it's bpi.com.ph. Any single entry or letter inputted into the URL means that it is a separate website. Hence, it may be a phishing site. Ang phishing site po kasi, nagka-capture siya ng mga username and password na ipinapasok mo and eventually, without you knowing it, na i-transfer na ang funds from your account to another account. Yun po ang usually ginagamit nila pagka mga bank accounts. Kaya we should be very lenient when using online accounts and we should check that the URL should have an address of HTTPS instead of HTTP alone when using financial transactions. Social media attack. These attacks are usually designed as friend requests or invitations to play a game. When you accept the request or invitation, it grants access to your profile that hackers can take advantage of. Facebook no longer requires a registered email address to sign up. This makes it difficult for the average user to prevent someone from cheating a fake profile in their name. Then, when people see a request from someone they know, they don't think twice about accepting it. It is normal with us Filipinos to be friendly. Henceforth, lahat ng kakilala natin na may picture nila as profile sa social media, we used to accept it without confirming dun sa owner kung iyon talaga ay legitimate na kanya. Kaya marami rin pong nagiging biktima ng social media attack. For companies, there is often a team of people who have access to the company's account across social media. These leave companies open to savvy corporate hackers who will then take over the account in order to embarrass the company. Ito po kasi, for example, sa school, hindi lang kasi isa ang i-designate nila maging administrator ng particular account. Henceforth, if something happened to their official social media account, hindi nila alam kung sino ang may blame. And hindi po naging practice natin na mga social media users na magpalit lagi ng password, i-check po yung mga grants na mga rights na ibinibigay sa mga gumagamit ng social media accounts. Kung meron po tayong employee na handler natin ng social media account ng school or ng ating institution, it is better na pagka naalis siya or may sama siya ng loob, alisin na siya as administrator ng social media account ng school in order not to compromise the official social media account of school. Again, education plays a pivotal role in preventing social media attacks. Remind employees not to share passwords for social media accounts. In addition, teach your social media managers what to look for to determine if an account has been hijacked. Ito po, hindi dapat maging practice na dahil kamag-anak, kaibigan, or closest friend natin, i-share natin ang social media account natin and password. Kasi po, we should always remember, yung taong pinakamalalapit sa atin, ang pinakamaraming information na alam sa atin. Henceforth, pag nagkaroon po tayo ng difficult times with them, it is very hard to determine what will be their next step. As a matter of precaution lang po sa atin, for us to be safe, we should not share our social media accounts or passwords to anyone we know. Now, what is the importance of securing our accounts? What can the cyber criminals exploit from social media accounts? They can know our real-time location, our house layouts, private locations exposed, expensive things that you have, personal identification documents, pattern of human behavior, target individuals. It is because they can see us more than we can see them. Hindi po kasi natin alam kung sino ang may ill motive sa atin around the internet. Lahat po yan open for public once you share it publicly. And once you post it on the internet, it will always be on the internet. Irresponsible use of social media can easily destroy reputation, either of an individual or of an organization. Unverified posts can be misinterpreted by the public. Careless postings can be scrutinized by the public. And most importantly, it can be taken advantage of by criminals. Kaya dapat po maging very careful tayo sa pag-share natin sa social media accounts. Kung hindi naman po necessary, wag na po natin i-post. Kahit po yung mga achievement ng mga anak natin sa school, syempre as parents, tuwan-tuwa po tayo, gusto nating malaman, pinagmamalaki natin sila. Pero with you posting, for example, a scholastic record or an achievement of your children in school, nakikita po doon kung anong school sila, at anong oras. Minsan, kung anong oras po sila nasa school, yun po yung nagiging advantageous para sa mga cyber criminals. Kasi pwede po nilang masundan ang everyday lives nyo kung daily ang posting nyo. Now, malware attack. This is a little bit technical. Malware stands for malicious software. Hackers design viruses, worms, Trojan horses, and more to disrupt companies by destroying or encrypting their files. The best way to prevent malware attack is in the first place is by having the right software protecting you. This means not just installing antivirus software and setting up firewalls, but also keeping them updated. When your antivirus or other protective software becomes outdated, it actually becomes easier for hackers to get in than if you didn't have any antivirus software in place. You will be very vulnerable. Just to cite an example, we have the so-called ransomware attack. Ito pong attack na ito, pag pumasok po sa computer nyo, hindi nyo na mabubuksan kahit anong files within your computer. It's because ini-encrypt na po nung software na yon lahat ng files nyo. And kahit po lumapit kayo sa ACG, we cannot do anything pag ransomware attack po ang nangyari sa inyo. For the reason na hindi po natin kayang i-decrypt unless meron po tayong decryption key, which is ang hinihingi ng hackers usually sa ransomware is to pay the ransom para po maibigay sa atin ang decryption key. But we are not sure kung pag binayaran ba yung ransom ay talagang ibibigay nila yung decryption key. The best way to protect ourselves from ransom attack is by maintaining backups of every files we have in our computer. So we recommend that at least we have a weekly backup of all our necessary files or pertinent document for us to have something to put back when we are attacked with a ransomware. The denial of service attack. It is where hackers render a site inaccessible to legitimate customers. Hackers do this by overwhelming the website with traffic and data until the website crashes. Although denial of service attacks do not have a direct financial cost to the victims, the indirect cost of lost sales can be high, not to mention the frustration of getting the website up and running again. E-commerce websites are the most likely targets of denial of service attack. That being said, hackers have been known to go after different types of high-profile businesses, including media agencies and government organizations. Besides keeping your antivirus software and security patches up to date, you should also be monitoring your traffic reports to protect against a denial of service attack. A sudden increase in the traffic or other strange traffic patterns should be an early sign of this type of attack. Ito pong attack na ito, nangyayari po ito pag nagkaroon po ng massive access sa particular website. For example po, magkakaroon kayo ng online registration or halimbawa po, meron kayong isang campaign sa school nyo. Tapos ini-up nyo yung application sa website. Pag nagkaroon po ng DDoS attack, yung illegitimate na kailangan makapasok sa website nyo at a particular time at inattack yung website nyo, yung mga estudyante nyo or yung mga parents na kailangan mag-login sa website nyo, hindi sila makakapasok. Kasi po, na-flood na yung server nyo. Henceforth, yung mga legitimate users, hindi na po makapasok. Kaya dapat, we should also monitor the traffic getting into our website. The man-in-the-middle attack. This is an attack where the attacker secretly relays and possibly alter the communication between two parties who they believe are directly communicating with each other. One example is eavesdropping, in which the attacker makes independent connections with the victims and relay messages between them to make them believe they are talking directly to each other over a private connection, when in fact, the entire conversation is controlled by the attacker. The attacker must be able to intercept all relevant messages passing between the two victims and inject new ones. This is straightforward in many circumstances. For example, an attacker with reception range of an unencrypted wireless access point can itself inject himself as a man in the middle. To prevent the man in the middle attack, pay attention to the security of websites you're using. This means only enter confidential information on websites with the URL HTTPS instead of HTTP. Yung S po kasi doon, ang meaning nun, secured. Henceforth, pag pumasok po ko sa ganung website, mas mataas ang security level niya. Also, pay attention if your browser warns you that the website security certificate is out of date. These websites are vulnerable to man-in-the-middle attack. Pag nag-prompt na po yung notification galing sa browser nyo na out of date yung certificate nung pinapasok nyo site, magduda na po kayo. Kasi usually po, ang registered official websites, meron po yung legitimate certificates. Drive-by-download attack. Hackers use drive-by-download attack to spread malware. This style of attack, hackers are casting a wide net as opposed to attacking specific targets. They upload a malicious code to unsecured website. When users visit this site, the web browser code automatically installs the malware or redirects the user to another corrupted site. These drive-by-download attacks may be lurking in email or pop-up windows as well. Ito po, pwede tayo magiging biktima nito kung mahilig tayo mag-download na mga software, free softwares. Tandaan po natin, kumbaga, nothing is free anymore. Anything on the internet has its purpose. So kung libre, let's make sure na sa legitimate site po tayo pumapasok. Yung mga trusted sites po natin. The best way to avoid this attack is to stay away from suspicious website. That being said, malware can be installed on any website, so you need an additional layer of protection. Keeping your firewall software up to date will help in this regard. Finally, keep apps and plugins on your device to a minimum. This tool increase your attack surface and leave you vulnerable to attacks. May mga security level po kasi pwede nating iset. Henceforth, ilagay lang po natin sa minimum para po hindi tayo maging biktima ng drive-by-download attacks. And now, so much for cybersecurity. Let me now discuss the most common cybercrime modus being used by the cybercriminals. First is the online libel. This is committed through text messages, emails, posts on social media accounts, blogs, websites, or online news. Elements of libel under Article 355 of the Revised Penal Code includes imputation, accusation of a discreditable act or condition to another, publication of imputation, identity of the person defamed, and the existence of malice. Yung mga batas po na nasa Revised Penal Code natin na inadapt sa Republic Act 10175, ang pinagkaiba lang po niyan, it is done through online. Since libel, alam po natin ito yung paninira, pagsasabi ng masama, or anything bad to a particular person, pwede po tayong makasuhan ng libel, lalo na pag sa social media natin ipinost. Kasi once na i-post na po natin, hindi na natin maibabalik yung credibility or yung justice para doon sa tao unless makasuhan ng libel. Henceforth, let us be very careful in anything that we post. Kasi po, pag nakakasira po yan ng ibang tao, ng ibang organization, or any institution, prone tayong makasuhan ng libel. At tayo din po ay pwedeng maging biktima ng libel. online threat. This is committed through text messages, emails, and posts on social media accounts. Suspect may not need any internet access or smartphones. They look for vulnerable people to this kind of modus. Usually, the rich are those who easily get scared. The person texts or posts harsh or threatening words to the victim. They just need your number to threaten or extort you. Sometimes, the sender uses fake emails, numbers, and social media accounts. Ito po, kung hindi natin gagabayan ang ating mga estudyante sa paggamit ng social media at sa paggamit ng internet, at hahayaan lang natin silang on their free time, hindi na natin alam kung sino-sinong tao ang kinakausap nila. Henceforth, susceptible po sila sa online threat kasi mas madali pong takutin ang bata. And usually, hindi sila kaagad magsusumbong sa magulang. Minsan nga po, sa school pa nadidiscover na may problema ang bata sa bahay. Noon pong face-to-face pa, may mga problema po sa pamilya na hindi nadidiscuss within the family. Pero lumalabas po sa ugali ng bata sa school, sa pakikisama sa kaklase, sa pakikitungo sa teachers, through guidance counseling, na nare-remedy natin yun. Pero paano kung online na po sila tinatakot? How would we know as parents kung hindi po natin sila mag-guide at mamamanage ang kanilang social media accounts? Let us always remember na ang Facebook po, meron siyang mga questions na itinatanong bago tayo makapag-create ng particular account natin. Usually, dapat 18 years of age tayo. But nowadays, mapansin po natin kahit elementary, kahit minsan preschool, minsan kahit kakaanak pa lang natin yung ating anak, nagagawa na natin ng social media account. Just because gusto po natin ipakita sa lahat that we are proud na meron tayong ganitong klaseng anak. Pero without us knowing, tayo din po ang nag-e-endanger sa bata kapag ine-expose po natin sila sa ganyang klaseng kamalayan. Hence, since nasa online na po tayo ngayon at hindi na po natin maiwasan ang paggamit, guidance na lang din po talaga ng magulang at ng mga guardians ang ating pagre-relayan para hindi po maging biktima ang ating mga anak ng cyber criminals. Ito pa po, identity theft. Dito po sa picture na to, makikita nyo, iisang tao lang siya. 4 na social media accounts with 4 different names. Paano nyo po ngayong malalaman kung sino ang totoo dyan? Say for example, kaibigan nyo siya. Paano nyo malalaman kung alin dyan sa 4 accounts na existing sa internet? Say for example, isinearch mo lang siya. Hindi ka niya in-add as friend. Paano po malalaman kung alin talaga ang legitimate na kanyang account dyan? Yan pong 3, hindi. Sa original Facebook po nung taong yan, siya si Sam Santiago. At yung unang-una pong account, iyon ang original. Identity theft means the intentional acquisition, use, misuse, transfer, possession, alteration, or deletion of identifying information belonging to another, whether natural or juridical without right. This can be done on email, social media accounts, online banking accounts, online reservations for hotels and airfares. Ngayon, yung mga magulang po, kung mapansin nyo po, kung hindi po tayo savvy or internet savvy, hindi tayo mahilig sa social media, subukan nyo pong i-search ang pangalan nyo over the internet. Because someone might be using your name, your pictures to create social media accounts. In that case po, pag nakita nyo merong gumagamit ng pangalan nyo, ng picture nyo, victim na po kayo ng identity theft. Pwede po natin i-request kay Facebook na i-take down ang account. May mga series of question lang po si Facebook para ma-justify mo na ikaw talaga yung may-ari ng pangalan na yun, ikaw yung nasa picture, but you are not the one managing the particular social media account. Kasi ang internet po, talagang susceptible siya sa identity theft. there is a particular item in the internet, the so-called internet identity. An internet persona is a social identity that an internet user establishes in online communities and websites. It can also be considered as an actively construed presentation of oneself. Although some people prefer to use their real names online, some internet users prefer to be anonymous, identifying themselves by means of pseudonyms, which reveals varying amounts of personal identifiable information. An online identity may be determined by a user's relationship to a certain social group they are a part of online. Some can even be deceptive about their identity. Ito pong particular account na ito, makikita nyo po dito. Ang basis po para malaman nyo kung totoo yung social media account ng tao na inia-add nyo or gusto nyong i-add as friends, i-check nyo po yung number of followers. Kung ang number of followers niya ay ganun na karami at napakarami nyo ng common friends at yung account ay hindi naman bagong create, there's a big possibility na legitimate po yung account. Pero pag ang account kahapon lang po kinreate, wala kayong common friends, or kakaunti ang kanyang followers, magduda po kayo kasi usually ginagamit lang po yan ng cybercriminals para makapangbiktima ng ibang tao. Marami na pong case na may ginamit na particular account tapos ginamit po sa panloloko ng ibang tao. Usually, yung mga friends sa official account ng tao, yun ang mga binibiktima. Mga kaibigan, mga kamag-anak, susulatan po sila, hihingi ng tulong, kesyo kailangan namin pampagamot, magpadala ng pera sa ganitong account, hindi na po nila ibine-verify kasi po nakita nila yung social media account na yun nakapangalan at picture naman po nung talagang kakilala niya, kaya marami pa rin pong nagiging biktima. Now, the anti-photo and video voyeurism. Ito po sa Tagalog, pamboboso. Prone po dito ang mga bata. Any person who possesses a nude photo or video of another person without his or her consent. The person threatens to post the photos or videos in social media accounts or porn sites. He or she blackmails the victim, asking for favor or consideration in exchange of that posting the photos or videos. The suspect and the victims may have a previous relationship. Sa anti-photo and video voyeurism, marami pong nagiging biktima dito ng bata. Kasi po, madaling maloko ang bata over the internet. Pag hindi po natin binibigyang tuon or pansin yung mga batang nag-create ng social media, hindi po natin alam kung sino ang kinakausap nila. Pwedeng matanda po iyan, na interesado sa bata, may mga pedophile din po. Hindi po kasi natin alam kung sino ang kinakausap nila. Henceforth, ang pinaka-safe po dito, bantayan natin ang anak natin sa paggamit ng social media. Lalong-lalo na po yung mga pictures na ipinopost nila. Kasi minsan kahit naglalakad lang, kung ang ipinapakitang part naman po ng picture, yung lower half ng bata, what is the purpose? Bakit po kailangan hingiin yung ganong klaseng picture? Kasi ang bata po, madali siyang illure into something. Pwede siyang ofera ng something na nakakapag-entice sa kanya, yung gustong-gusto niya. Henceforth, madali siyang maging biktima. And hindi po natin maiiwasan yung mga ganyang klase ng tao over the internet. Kasi worldwide po ito eh. Sabi nga po, it is borderless. Henceforth, kahit foreigners, pwedeng nakikita sila. Hindi lang tayo dito sa Pilipinas. Ang problem po, pag magkakaso na tayo at nasa ibang bansa, baka hindi po mag-take effect yung batas natin sa kanila kasi hindi naman po sila within the Philippines. Another is child pornography. Children lured to post nude via internet, sometimes even by their own parents. Suspect or operator of child online pornography offers money as payment to parents or guardians of the victim. They offer the online viewing of the nude photo or video of the victim to customers in the internet. Payments are made to the suspect by the customer through ATM or credit card before the actual viewing. Ito po, sa experience namin dito sa cybercrime, at saka sa huli ng mga women and children, women and children protection unit po ng PNP, nakikita nyo naman po na minsan mga kamag-anak pa. Ang reason po nila sobrang kahirapan. Ang mga dahilan po ng magulang parang hindi naman enough para masupport yung kanilang pangangailangan. Just for the reason na kailangan mo, hindi nahahawakan ng anak mo pero nakikita ang buong katawan niya, wala po yung impact sa physical na pangangatawan ng bata. Pero sa isip mo, tumitimo yan sa isip ng bata. Hanggang paglaki siya, dala-dala niya yan. Magkakaroon siya ng inferiority complex na mahihirapan na ganyang ma-regain kahit po ano pang achievement or success na marating niya once maging biktima na po siya nito. Henceforth, alagaan po natin ang ating mga anak. Sextortion. Sextortion is a form of sexual exploitation that employs non-physical forms of coercion to extort sexual favors from the victim. Actors or players create fake accounts representing young females. They connect with men on FB or other social media platforms. With this modus, players perform actual or recorded sexual acts on the webcam and encourage the victims to do the same. The players secretly record the session and threatens to send the videos to the victim's family or friends unless payment is made via money remittance center. Ito pong modus na ito, akala po natin marami po tayong napapanood na successful relationship over the internet. Yung sa internet lang nagkakilala pero naging successful ang relationship. Pero dapat maging very lenient din po tayo sa pagdi-deal natin sa social media. Kasi minsan po, recorded lang pala. Hindi talaga iyon yung actual na taong kausap natin. Kaya when you are lured to do something nasty, be very careful po kasi inire-record po yan ng kausap nyo sa kabila. Ang magiging next step po niyan, hihingian kayo ng pera or tatakutin kayo. At without us knowing, minsan naka-upload na rin po sa mga porn sites. Which is very degrading po, hindi lang para sa atin, para sa kaibigan natin, para sa pamilya natin. Kahit po tayo, halos wala na tayong iharap sa lahat ng tao sa paligid natin. Maging feeling natin lahat sila, alam nila yung kwento natin kahit hindi naman nila napanood. Ganun po ang magiging effect niyan sa tao. And worst thing po dyan, pag nasira yung credibility mo, napakahirap na pong buuin ng credibility. The internet love scam. If you have been befriended online by an attractive person, usually foreigner, who then tells a tale of falling into trouble or on hard times, this is probably an internet love scam. The scammer persists with their story to gain their victim's adoration and trust, and then ask for money as proof of love. Once the money is transferred, the scammers disappears. Usually po ito, ang mga nagiging biktima nito, magagaling din po kasi yung mga hackers Parang namomonitor nila sino yung mga mararaming pera, sino yung madaling lokohin. Usually po, may mga nagiging biktima po yung mga bagong retire, katatanggap pa lang po ng lump sum, yung mga balo, yung mga malulungkot sa buhay, naghahanap ng kalinga ng iba, yun po ang madalas magiging biktima nito. Kasi pinapaniwala sila na the person behind the internet is caring for them. Without them knowing na profile na pala sila, kasi post sila ng post sa social media na eto, bagong tanggap ako ng pension or bagong lump sum ako, may natanggap akong nanalo ako sa lottery, henceforth maraming pera. Pag nakapost po sa social media yan, prone na prone po tayo na maging biktima ng cyber criminals. Online modeling scam. If you With this modus, the suspects disguise themselves as online modeling scouts. They will send flattering messages, then will ask for a sample of modeling photos. They will offer considerable huge amount of cash. They will ask for sensitive photos as a requirement for the selection process, which will eventually lead to extortion, rape, and even murder. Ito po, marami po kaming naging case nito when I was assigned at Pro 4A sa Laguna po. Marami pong batang biktima doon. At nung nagkaroon po kami ng isang operation, foreigner pa ang nangbibiktima sa kanila. Kasi po, iba na po ang bulas ng mga bata ngayon. Marami na po sa kanila ang easily nagmamature. Mabilis silang mag-adapt. Tapos kung ano ang trend ngayon, kumbaga nung kasing unang panahon, hindi naman ganyan manamit ang mga tao. Kahit nga po sa mall ngayon, mag-ikot kayo. Napakarami naka-short. Okay lang po sana kung hindi naman sila magiging biktima. Kaya lang po, yung pag-expose po natin, hindi naman po namin sinasabi sa PNP na tayo ang nag-e-entay sa kriminal na biktimahin tayo. Hindi po iyon kasi dati nagkaroon na po ng wrong connotation regarding sa rape. Hindi po iyon. Ang sinasabi lang po namin is protektahan din natin ang ating sarili. Hindi naman pong masamang makisabay sa trend. Pero sa online modeling scam po kasi, yan ang una nilang ini-scout. Yung may mga batang may hubog na ang katawan, yung mga mapuputi, makikinis, yan po. Tapos, kahit po iyan ipinadala ng kahit sabihin na ipopost ng hindi kasama ang muka, ang problem po niyan pag naging biktima na kayo ng extortion or even rape. Online scam. The suspect is always asking for money, like selling an item that looks genuine at a low price for reasons such as he needed money for emergencies. They promise to give or ship the product. Sometimes the scammer gives discount to the victim until the victim concedes. The scammer provides bank accounts and instructs the victim to deposit the payment there. He will say that the item was already shipped. Minsan po, ipinapakita pa sa atin yung proof of transfer na ipadala na yung item. Henceforth, magpapadala na rin tayo ng pera. Ang pinaka-safe way po para mag-transact or bumili ng something online is cash on delivery. Matatanggap nyo po yung item at the same time, doon pa lang po kayo magbibitaw ng pera. Mahirap po kasi yung sinabing na i-ship na or okay, sasabi original pagdating sa inyo, hindi naman totoo yung item or local yung product or ginaya lang. Pagka po ang product, for example, bibili po kayo ng iPhone Pro Max, tignan nyo po ang price niya sa market. If the offer is too low, magduda na po kayo. Hindi siya magiging original, hindi siya magiging bago. Never po ise-sell ang isang item na nasa official store nila ng napakababa kahit sa online. At ngayon, inire-regulate na rin po ang online selling. Henceforth, baka hindi na magkalayo ang presyo sa online at sa real store, sa physical store, kung doon po kayo bibili. And kung magtatransact po kayo ng pagbili ng items online, make sure na legitimate seller po ang inyong kinukunan ng mga produkto. Kasi pwede rin po kayo mabiktima ng online pharmacy. It is selling of fake or counterfeit pharmaceutical companies. Suspects are unauthorized distributors. Sometimes they are carrying the names of big companies and pretending as health insurance representatives. Marami pong mga pampapayat, pampaputi, pampaganda, pampakinis, lahat na po meron sa internet. Pero hindi po tayo nakakasiguro kung yung mga ino-offer nilang gamot ay BFAD approved. Henceforth, sa mga legitimate companies lang po tayo bumili ng gamot. Dahil security or health natin ang nakasalalay dyan. Huwag po natin i-compromise yung ating kalusugan dahil lang sa kaunting discount na makukuha natin online. There are victims of cybercrimes. Why? Because we allow it. We post public photos that can be seen by anyone. We do not secure our online accounts. We forget to log out our accounts before leaving the computer shop or office. Ito po, nagiging biktima tayo kasi ginagamit natin ang mga devices na commonly used ng ibang tao. Say for example, sa office natin, sa internet cafe, hindi naman natin po personal iyan. Maglalagin tayo ng particular account natin and the worst thing is, madalas nakakalimutan natin i-log out. Kasi, ang akala natin, pag tapos na tayo mag-transact, okay na po. Pero, kagaya ng Facebook, kung hindi mo siya ila-log out, hindi siya automatically magla-log out. Pero pag financial transaction po, wag na wag po tayong gagamit ng public wifi, public devices, kasi prone po tayo maging biktima. At before us knowing it, wala na palang pera ang ating mga accounts. Another thing is, we might be unaware. This is very easy to create new online profile using all the public photos we have posted on our accounts. There are malwares that can extract passwords from unsecured website, and we are unaware of the modus of cybercrimes. Kaya nga po naging passion na namin dito sa cybercrime ang mag-lecture, not only with schools, but with other government organization, private organizations. Lahat po ng mag-invite sa amin, ine-entertain namin kasi gusto po namin lahat maging aware. Dahil with the use of internet, madami po talaga ang nagiging biktima. Some cybercriminals have high technical skills that can penetrate security measures. Kaya dapat po, very careful tayo. Mas ang mga cybercriminals po, tandaan natin, mas advanced pa po ang knowledge nan kaysa sa atin. Tayo ay usual users lang. Pero sila talagang pinag-aaralan nila, dini-deep dive nila ang kanilang pag-study para malaman nila kung paano sila makakapambiktima. Kasi kung yung sa normal or traditional crimes po, kailangan pa silang mag-barge in into a bank. Ngayon, online lang. Isang pindot or isang file lang ang ipadala nila. Pwede nang makompromise yung buong banking system. Ganun po kadali gumalaw sa cyber world, yung mga cyber criminals. Henceforth, as a matter of precaution, tayo na rin po ang mangangalaga sa sarili natin. Kasi mahihirapan po tayo kung naging biktima tayo na patunayan sa bangko na hindi talaga tayo ang nag-transact. Kasi wala nga pong face-to-face transaction na ginagawa ngayon. Lahat po, it is being done online. And the burden of proof ay magre-rely po sa atin pag tayo ang nag-i-state na tayo ay biktima. Ang mahirap po nun ay ang patunayan na tayo ay victim. Kasi hindi rin po natin kung alam kung sino or kung papaano nawala ang ating mga savings or kung ano man ang nating na-save sa ating mga bank accounts. Henceforth, maging maingat po tayo lagi. Safety tips. These are friendly reminders from the PNP-ACG and from the Rotary Club of Metro Antipolo. First, ang una po natin diniscuss is yung password cracking. First and foremost, make use of strong passwords. Password should at least have 10 characters or should be a combination of upper, lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters or symbols. Kasi po, pag ginamit nila yung software nila, usually, pag dictionary attack, lahat ng words sa dictionary itatry niya para makuha niya yung password mo. Hindi rin po inire-recommend sa pag-create ng password ang paggamit ng mga personal numbers just like birthday, anniversary. Kasi yung mga common friends natin or yung mga kaibigan natin na malalapit sa atin, alam din nila yung birthday at anniversaries natin. After creating strong passwords, be sure that they are kept secured. In order to do that, it is recommended not to use personal information. Use different password for different accounts. Say for example, meron po kayong account kay Facebook, meron kayong account kay LinkedIn, meron kayo kay Instagram. It is recommended na iba-iba ang password natin sa kada account na kinikreate natin. Para pag na-compromise po yung isa, hindi lahat apektado. Keep your password secret. We should never share it even to the closest person to our heart. If possible, use two-step verification code. Ito naman po, yung once nag-transact ka online, may verification code pong ipapadala naman sa registered cellphone mo. Para yung, kung na-compromise man po yung account mo, still, tatanungin ka pa rin niya nung second verification na lalabas sa cellphone mo. And usually po, yung mga nagiging biktima sa bangko, tinatawagan po iyan nung hacker. Nagpe-pretend silang taga-bangko, sasabihin, oh, may pinadalang one-time PIN kami sa iyo, ano yan? Pag nagtanong na po ang bangko ng ganun, magduda na kayo. Never gagawin ni bangko na maghingi ng one-time PIN, password, or anything personal to a particular account. Change your password at least every 60 days. Ito po, inire-recommend po natin to. Although mahirap po talagang tandaan, lalo na kung napakarami nating accounts. Napakahirap pong tandaan. Pero this is one way of securing ourselves. Always remember to log out. Ito po, usually nire-recommend po ito. Kahit po personal device natin ang gamit natin. Say for example, sa cellphone po natin. Pag gumamit tayo ng Facebook, automatic nakikita na natin si Facebook. Nakikita na natin kaagad yung mga kausap natin doon. Ang problema po, paano kung nawala si cellphone? Paano po kung na-snatch si cellphone? Paano na tayo kung hindi tayo nagla-log out? Pati pagka na-snatch si cellphone or nanakaw si cellphone, nanakawan na tayo, pati accounts natin na-compromise. Ang pinaka-worst po doon ay kung kasama ang mga bank accounts natin sa loob ng ating device. Kasi usually, doon din po tayo nagkakandak ng ating online transactions. And never share questions and one-time PIN. Ito po yun yung mga pinapadala ni bangko or verification. Huwag po natin ibibigay sa ibang tao. Huwag po natin ipapagamit ang account natin sa ibang tao. Kung may kailangan po tayong itransact, lalo na yung financial transaction, tayo po personally ang gumawa para hindi po tayo maging biktima. The golden rules for email safety. Rule number 1. If you don't immediately recognize the sender, don't open it, just delete it. Rule number 2. Never click on a link from an email unless from a friend and it sounds like from them. Pwede po natin i-verify ito kung tatawagan natin yung tao, kung talagang may ipinadala siya. Kasi usually po, diyan po nakakapagpadala ng mga phishing link at nagiging biktima po tayo. And rule number 3, never send personal information via email. Call them. It is a must that you call your, yung kinakausap natin sa internet po, through email. Kasi po, lalo na pagka may mga money involved, dapat po, meron tayong verification. Kasi po, minsan, na compromise na pala yung email nila, iba na ang kausap natin, hindi natin alam, hindi na sila yung kinakausap natin. Henceforth, kung nanghihingi man sila ng pera o may kailangan man tayo in-transact sa kanila, natatransact natin without us knowing, victim na rin po pala tayo. Social networking tips. Same as email safety, social networking safety should be exercised and practiced with due diligence. Our tip number 1, remember that even people you know can be identity thieves. Yan po yung sinasabi namin na hindi naman pong masamang magtiwala sa iba, pero pagdating po sa social media, medyo maging diligent po tayo. Tip number 2, learn how to change your privacy settings. Hide friends list, hide places, and limit old posts. Ito po kasi, pag lahat to nakikita, madali na tayong sundan ng mga taong interesado sa atin. Tip number 3, accept only friends requests from people you know. Examine accounts before accepting friends and try to consider the date of creation of accounts and the friends list or common friends. Tip number 4, limit the amount of time and place that you expose through social networking sites. Say for example, upcoming activity pa lang po, magbabakasyon ka pa lang. Never ever post it on the internet. Kasi without you knowing it, baka merong mga akyat bahay or somebody na interested sa inyo, alam niya kung paano niya kayo susundan, paano niya papasukin ang bahay niyo kasi alam niya naka-due kayo for vacation. Yung mga upcoming activities po natin, wag po natin ipopost. Tip number 5, limit the amount of personal information available on your social networking profiles. Do not publicize your unlisted phone number. Also, do not use office laptops for personal use. It is highly advisable to use personal devices for personal accounts. And check automatically login inbox and regularly check login activity of your accounts. Keeping safe on Facebook. Since most of us are Facebook users, let me give you some tips to consider when dealing on Facebook. First is to set the privacy settings. Once you create an account on Facebook, it is always open for the public. Henceforth, we should set our privacy settings. We should limit only to our friends or to friend of friends para hindi naman po tayo open sa lahat ng tao na gumagamit ng internet. Always monitor pictures that other people put you on tag. Wait lang po. Put you on tag. Ito po para ma-monitor nyo rin kung talagang mga friends nyo ang nagtatag sa inyo. Watch out for phishing attacks. Never post upcoming vacation or trip as a status. Avoid putting personal information. Change your passwords very often. Don't confuse Facebook with an online dating site. Be careful on accepting friends and always to check the address bar. It is always www.facebook.com. Pag may isang letter or isang character na nasingit po dyan, hindi legitimate Facebook site ang pinupuntahan niyo. The Code of Cyber Ethics. Since I am about to finish my discussion, let me share with you the Code of Cyber Ethics according to csecurity.org. First is do not use offensive language. Do not cyberbully. Do not plagiarize. Do not break into someone else's computer. Do not use someone else's password. Do not attempt to infect or anyway try to make someone else's computer unusable. And adhere to copyright restrictions when downloading materials from the internet, including software, games, movies, or music. Kasi kahit naman po tayo, kung na-share man yung ginawa natin sa internet, gusto rin natin pong ma-recognize na galing sa atin iyon. I-respect din po natin yung ibang nag-share ng information. Although ino-open po nila yan for public, hindi naman po masamang i-recognize din natin yung effort nila. Banggitin po natin yung sources of information natin kung meron mo po tayong kokopyahin anything on the internet. And since our teachers are considered as the second parents of our children, it is but proper to discuss cyber hygiene, which is described as the preventive measure we take to help prevent threats to the digital lives of both our lives and the people around us. Threats such as cyberbullying, malware, personal finance, and identity theft, and even ransomware and phishing attacks, to name a few. You may not think that your child is susceptible to such attack, but if they are using any internet-enabled device such as tablet, mobile phone, laptop, computer, or gaming console on a regular basis, chances are they have been targeted or you may not even know it, that they are already a victim. Keep devices up to date. Make sure that all devices have the latest software updates. For mobile devices, download apps from reputable sites. Update passwords. Make changing your password into something stronger. Also remind the kids not to share password with friends or anyone else. Explain that sharing account is a bad idea. It can harm their reputation if their friends impersonate them or disrupt account access if they have a disagreement. Establish ground rules for device usage. Make sure that children are allowed to use gadget only on a limited time. For parents, it is recommended to establish a central charging station in a common area in the house so that kids are not tempted to pick up their phone while in bed at late night. Keep an eye for a change in their behavior. Cyberbullying is the new normal for displaying aggression among adolescents. The anonymity and pervasiveness of digital media and access make it easier for bullies to act out their aggression on a 24 by 7 by 365 basis. If a child is being cyberbullied through texting, social media, or other means, she may start to act withdrawn. Look for emotional behavior or social clues, such as sudden stopping on the use of phone or computer, or changes in eating or sleeping habits and the like. We should always be watchful of our children. Lock down social media accounts. Teach the kids to place restrictions on their social media accounts, such as preventing everyone from viewing posts and limiting access to friends only. Remind them that once it is posted in the internet, it is out there forever. Preach vigilance. Advise teenagers to be watchful when using ATM machines and to take a look around of the machine for any signs of tampering. Even as adults, we are not so very cautious when using the machine, but there are safety precautions being implemented by the bank. Hence, we should make our own self-protection as well. And lastly, communicate. Talk to kids and have an open and honest two-way discussion about internet safety. Chances are you might learn from them as well. It is never too late to practice good cyber hygiene. Please permit me to use this, uh, shall I say, flyer from our friends from the Rotary District of 3800, which is the cyber hygiene from the Rotary. The smarter. S stands for stay safe. M stands for don't meet up. A for accepting files. R for reliable. T for tell someone. E for edify. And R for resilient. As parents, we should teach our children to be smarter as before. Kasi iba na po ang trend ngayon sa cybercrime. Hindi lang po matanda ang nabibiktima. Malaki po ang impact sa bata. Kung tayo pong matatanda, kaya nating mag-withstand sa mga problems na dumadating sa atin, hindi po natin kayang mai-handle yung fear na pwedeng makuha ng bata kasi hanggang pagtanda po, dala-dala na niya yan. Also, we have to weigh convenience versus security. As internet users, we should always be diligent. Nandyan po yung importance ng internet, lalo na ngayong panahon ng pandemic. Ang schooling ay done online. Very convenient na pong mamili, mag-research, mag-download. Lahat po nasa internet na. Parang wala na tayong hahanapin na hindi natin makikita sa internet. Pero, we should also weigh yung ease of access versus trust and security. Dapat maging very cautious po tayo when dealing online. Ito po, nakita ko po ito kanina sa Rotary nung i-share nyo yung inyong hymn. Yung trust-based environment. Inadapt din po namin to sa cybercrime. Kailangan din po natin i-consider lahat. And we should think before we click, because once it's posted on the internet, it is always there. Madami na pong nagkaka-interest kahit picture, kahit videos, kahit tanggalin po natin sa sarili nating profile yan, pwedeng na i-download na rin po yan ng ibang internet users. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do, either physically or on the virtual world. We should think if it is the truth. Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? That ends my presentation. Thank you and good day.
Thank you very much. Applause, please. Palakpakan natin si Colonel Sena.
Thank you, sir. Thank you po.
Thank you, Colonel, for your time. And it is really a very intelligent description of cyber crimes in this society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I hope all the kids that are listening right now will benefit to this, and also the parents, definitely.
Yes, sir. And we hope not to see them in our office, sir.
That's right. We will not, and we will. That's one of the preventions that we will have to do in our part. Thank you once again.
Thank you,
And
sir.
for everybody listening, if you have any question or anything that you might have, you can do so by putting something in the chat, or kindly raise your hand and we will unmute your microphone. There being none, habol. So Colonel Sena, I think let's save your time for that one. But it is really interesting. Everything that you put out today is definitely a million thanks.
Bye, love you.
For everyone. Anybody? Question? Wala na, unmute lang siguro. So this time, I would like to welcome the transforming president of the Rotary Club of Metro Antipolo, retired Police Major General Gilbert C. Sosa, Assistant Secretary, Malacanang. Sir?
Thank you, President-elect Willie Quaresma. Maraming salamat, yung Irene, on behalf na PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group, for a very wonderful and very informative lectures. Actually, we have reached about 362 sa Facebook Live natin.
Wow!
Sa Zoom lang is about 30, maximum 30 yung na-reach sa Zoom. Nagawas na. Ngayon yata 60 na lang naiwan. Baka nagutom na. But sa Facebook, it's 362 ang views natin. So, this is our second webinar on the protection of our children, our pupils, our students from the dangers and exploitation of internet. And we have so many seminars yet to conduct in the future. So we are reaching out different schools para sa advocacy na to. We also have, papakita ko, patingin ka ng notebook mo na. Diyan, may notebook pa dyan. We have advocacy materials. Hindi ata makita. Hindi ba, sorry, hindi makita ng background eh. Pero di ba,
Background.
KKP Willie.
Hindi mo,
Kasi naka-background ako eh. Yeah. Ito yung sample na advocacy notebook natin bigay natin sa mga bata. That's the front page, the inside back, the inside back, and yung mga contact details ng mga law enforcement agency natin, especially the anti-cybercrime group. So, at least we are planning to conduct one seminar high school per week. So, huwag ka magsasawa. Irene, susukiin ka namin. Para namin tipid na maganda yun. Special because of a very, very special lecture also. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yung mga estudyante natin, yung mga pupil, mga teachers ay may natutunan kayo sa sinare sa atin ng ating anti-cybercrime group sa pamumuno ni Police Lieutenant Colonel Irene Cayetano Sena. So, magiging sukay natin siya. Huwag kayong magsasawa sa kanya. I-like nyo siya. Oh. At tulad ng sinabi niya, sana hindi kayo maimbestigahan ng cybercrime group dahil
Yes,
yun.
sir.
Wait, so, yun lang. See you in the next webinar. Irene,
Yes,
for the members of RCMA, thank you for your support. Thank you rin sa St. Teresa School sa pangunguna ni Past President Lucy Reyes and her co-teachers plus yung mga anak. And MARPNA. Yan, kayong mga staff niya dito. So, maraming salamat. I salute you all. Thank you, Irene. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you din po.
Salamat
Salamat po.
So, that wraps up the day. Anybody else you can make a comment using our chat or email us at rcmetroantipolo@gmail.com. Bye-bye. Then, thank you, Colonel.
Thank you po. Thank you rin po. Bye, sir. Salamat po.
Salamat po.